what we are going to discuss today, because it's going to cross over from essays to something even more interesting, which is ethics GS4. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. All right. We'll see. I
Hey
think we just
guys, good
went
evening.
live. Hey, Shabbir, how are you?
I'm good, Dave. I'm good. Something new for today. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Oh, the the team is already here. Excellent.
Yeah.
Hey Hemant, how are you? I
We
hope
have
others have joined us
Garima,
too.
we have Jashanjot. Very nice. I think we will soon start getting people on YouTube today. We're streaming live on YouTube too. Um, and I think it'll be fun. It's been a while, Shabir, since we started did something new with this. I think we
Yes,
have
yes.
been doing evaluations. We have been discussing essays, brainstorming essays, which is obviously, always new in, because every new essay topic kind of provides some, interesting perspective. But I think today will be fun. We have Aditya joining us, Athar Ahmad, uh, and GCET ZV2OY. Good evening, sir. Yes, good evening.
Oh yes, we can do that too. So our team
Okay.
is sorry.
Yeah, let's do the mic option.
Yeah, we can do that. Dashan Jot has joined us today. I
Yeah,
don't remember um Dashan Jot talking to you last time.
yeah, we have Ria Amol on YouTube. Good evening, very good evening. Raju Srivastav, good evening. Um, all right. So, Shabir, I think we have a quorum.
Yeah, we can
Um,
start now.
we can start. I will let you welcome everybody, and then we can get rolling. I can share my screen. Yeah.
Fair enough, Dave. So, guys, um, all of you on the YouTube, Aditya, Athar, Ria, Amol, Raju Srivastav, all the others, I do not see, but for your comments. And those enrolled with us, Anamika, Garima, we have Heman, Dashanjot Kaur. So today is a special session, special because we are trying to do something very different this time. Oh, we have 007 too. 007, tell us what is your name? How do you address you? Or James Bond is fine. I don't mind. So the session, yeah, the session for today is essentially how do we link essays learning, essays writing, the content analysis, the critical thinking skills of essay into the ethics paper. I always have pointed out this in the class that one of the problems why students struggle is because they do not have the interdisciplinary approach. We study subjects in silos, only economy, only polity, only history, only geography. We treat essays as different from the others. While the approaches can be different, how you prepare, how you write, but there is lot of interlinkages. Governance, you cannot leave out governance from ethics. You cannot leave out environmental concerns in ethics. You cannot leave out concerns related to economic development in ethics. And similarly, ethics itself is an abstract idea. What is good, what is bad, what is morally acceptable. We have a new concept of constitutional morality for that matter. They ask you questions around quotes, they ask you questions around thinkers. Vivekananda pucha hua hai, they've asked Gandhi ji, they've asked thinkers like Guru Nanak ji also. So there's a lot of interlinkages here. So if you learn to crack this, then I think your answers will be more rounded, they will be more organic, they will be more good to read. It'll show a different part of your personality, okay, which can relate things otherwise people miss out. One of the common challenges, एक बहुत बड़ा challenge है बच्चों का, that the dimension development is something they struggle with. Okay, and I think one good way of dimensions development is think across subjects, think across topics. Okay, so that's the whole idea here. Hi Venkatesh, Mithali from prelims batch. Okay, yeah, good evening. So
And
your thoughts, Dave? Your thoughts?
yeah, I would love to actually let's look at the ethics GS4 syllabus for a second, and that will give us ideas. A lot of things we've been discussing in essays. Every week we run a practice in the Telegram channel, and you will see so many interdisciplinary ideas. So I want to actually show you a little bit of that.
Dave, if I may interject, just one small announcement for the benefit of all our students and viewers on the YouTube. After a lot of thought, planning, we have been doing this for some time. We are going to launch our mentorship program for GS. I think that is something that comes very natural to me, hand holding, sitting and learning together, planning things. And I've been doing this for donkey years now. So we decided to launch this formally. We have been doing this for the last 2-3 years, but in a very informal way. So all of you, you can have one-on-one session with me, sit down with me, and I'll help you plan your attempt for 27. This is the invite for all those giving your attempts even this year. Scan this if you can, and I'll sit down with you on a personal session, and I'll see how you progress, what you have done, and I'll also give you some kind of a personalized planner. And in this, I'll also tell you how you can study through the entire year. So a personal one-on-one, Hemant, the first session is absolutely free. You are right. The first session, you sit down with me, I discuss your planning process, your study process, your weak areas. I'll suggest how you can divide your time through the year. So that's a free session, and a planner from my side also, which is personalized to your needs. So scan this. On the comment section, we'll also put up our link. We need a form for that. We need some data about when did you start preparation, what your background is, whether you're attempting 27 or 28. So there are about 15-20 questions. It'll not take you more than 3-4 minutes to fill up that form. So based on that form or this QR code, you'll get an invite. We also have we have asked, tell us what's a good time for me to sit with you, mornings, afternoons, in the evenings. Give me some options. I'll plan it that way. So all of you, whether you are my student, not my student, you've heard about me, so feel free to talk to me. Because it's nice time to get ready for 27. Good 1.5 years approximately with you. If you get the process right now, okay, I think you should manage it more conveniently. Even college students, if you're viewing us, let us know if you want a mentorship session. Yeah, sorry, Dave.
No, I think this is
Diversion.
good. I was just thinking, like, slowly where the world is going with all the content and everything that is available across the board. I think students will obviously continue to need some level of curation of content and understand the method how to prepare. And I have whatever students I have spoken to last 5-6 years, I've always heard that when they came to coaching and spoke to you, the approach to preparation was clarified, right? How do I go about it? Is it going to take 12 months, 18 months, 16 months, 3 months, 6 months? In what sequence I'll study? Which areas to give more importance? I think these are the core things. Subject matter is important, but I think unless we put it on a structure, and that's what mentorship is going to do. So definitely important thing for students. So thanks for pointing that out. Let me share, go back to our topic. I think we you set it up really well with the connection between essays and ethics, and I just wanted to show a little bit of the ethics GS4 sort of syllabus, and it's now visible on screen now. So if you look at it, and this is I'm on Uki, and I'm looking at interactive syllabus. You all can go and view it. You will see that ethics in human interface, this is obviously the core, right? The source and the fundamentals of ethics. Attitude, aptitude, these have all relevant topics for civil services. Now the question is, why do we include it? Why does UPSC include this as part of the syllabus? This is because you can think about it, that all of this links to how a civil servant must operate, behave and operate, and what be guided by, right? Eventually it ends up with the case studies. And Shabir, we discussed a very important thing about journalism in the Telegram channel last week, and I even have written a post on it. I shared it with the students around journalism ethics, which is a huge current affairs thing today, given fake news, propaganda, and polarization of the country. So the point is that ethics, what you study in essays is basically the abstraction of ethics, syllabus, and this is where you actually get to apply it. So we thought today we will actually take the last essay we studied and we'll apply it to GS4 ethics and discuss the nuances of that, right? I think this is an application of a topic that's been picked in essays to illustrate the interdisciplinary nature of this area of study. So that's all I had to say on the syllabus, Shabir.
Yeah.
I if
While you're discussing syllabus, Dave,
yeah.
I think most of you know about the fact that ethics paper, GS paper 4, there are two sections, section A and section B. The section A has questions which are more theoretical questions, and section B has case studies. Section A, I think, has 13 questions worth 130 odd marks, 10 marks each. And section B, case study, is worth 120 marks. The essay linkage is for both the sections, section A and section B. In section A, they can ask you some quote-based, we'll discuss that eventually. And section B, there can be a case study which can be it can be mapped to quite a few essay topics. We'll demonstrate that one by one. Okay, so first the essay that we were discussing, Deb,
Yeah,
we can go.
let's jump in. I will just share um, my iPad. Just give me a second. Okay, so I think you all can see my iPad now. With "you cannot control the
Yeah,
storm, only your sail," right? This is the topic that we discussed, for the benefit of everybody, right? We have discussed this at a much deeper level with the subscribed students. We have also discussed this at a quite detailed level in the Telegram channel for all the students that are just enrolled there. So we have for everybody, I think we have a good sense of what this essay is all about. We wanted to do both things, GS4 and essays. So we thought, let's pick an essay that you have all seen before, right? So I'll just quickly go through it so we'll get a recap of You Cannot Control the Storm. And I think then, Shabbir, how about discussing some questions that are related to this essay topic within the
Absolutely.
context of GS4? We'll do that, right? So I think you all said this is a
Uh,
persuasive essay.
one information.
Yeah.
Jashan she is joined us as our enrolled student today. Jashan Jot, just to tell you what we have done, we took up one topic last week. The topic was you cannot control the storm, only the sail. And we had discussion with all the enrolled students. You were not there, and it was the conversation with all of you that we generated all these points. Okay, so if you have missed that session, you can always see this and can listen to what sir is telling us. So special input for you as an enrolled student. Yeah, Dave, I just thought I will not
Oh,
miss
that's
her out. Yeah, yeah.
perfect. Welcome, welcome. And so just to continue, so I think a lot of you said it is a persuasive essay. We established that Stoicism was at the core of this essay because we're talking about really controllables and what you cannot control. So clearly, Stoicism was the core philosophy. We said courage, grit, awareness, acceptance, EQ, positive mindset. These were sort of the keywords. So we are talking about courage, we are talking about acceptance that here are things that I need to, I can control, here are things I cannot control, and then moving forward with that. So, core values and keywords we kind of discussed and we paraphrased it. And the dimensions, I'll just pause for 1 minute here so that we remember what the dimensions were. The first dimension is that adversity is part and parcel of nature, right? So the reality, nature of reality is such that adversity is something that is part of the game and this will pass. That's the mentality we need to take. So it is sort of describing nature of reality. That's the first dimension. Then we said emotions cloud our judgment. So while we understand reality, we should be keeping our emotions aside and looking at it rationally and with a problem solving attitude, right? So back to the keyword, problem solving. Courage should be the beginning of our response. So the turning point is actually courage. When you decide, I have the courage, I will face and I will fight the storm, right? And then focus on solving the problem rationally, and then be planful and adapt to changing situations. Make sure that when you are going into the water, anticipate the storm and do the planning based on that. And then if you go through this process of planning and then getting into the ring, getting a hit, being resilient, being courageous, that all that results in personal growth. And then the final idea we ended with: awareness, acceptance of reality is the key to survival of growth. We must walk with nature, right? That's what Stoicism says, that we must follow the course of nature. We should not try to fight how nature behaves. So I think that's a great ending to this essay. So these were dimensions that we covered, right? Courage, nature of reality, growth, awareness, acceptance, problem solving, and you know uh, how to get ready for a difficult situation. That's the core of this essay. So now, Shabbir, I think we should step back a
Yeah,
little bit, saying, okay, here are the basic principles of this essay. How does this fit within the
and
GS4?
when I'm reading this again, Dave,
Yeah,
it's actually amazing that we could do this with the students for the
yeah,
benefit of all YouTube viewers. ये जो आप देख रहे हो सामने, all the points, all the dimensions, this is the work of we working with the students and the students telling us the points. So this is a technique that we emphasize. When you see a topic, don't always think in the in that straight jacketed way, a pestle method, write the historical approach, start the essay with a quote. You must give examples, dump examples, whatever you can. The trick to a good essay is take up a topic and see if you can break the topic into interesting dimensions. The more interesting the dimension, the more interesting is your essay. The more introspective, the more thoughtful, the more insightful are your dimensions, the more insightful will be your essay. So you can see these points. If you want, you can take a screenshot and maybe you can try writing on this also. So now, yeah, just to tell the students what we are doing there. So we
yeah,
can
yeah.
start off now. We can see,
And we started with a blank sheet of paper, right? We developed it with the students, and I always say that you all actually told what is on this page. What Shabbir and I did is organize your thoughts. Okay. And I keep coming back to this, that you all jump into writing. No, don't do that. Before writing, the thinking comes, and before thinking, the reading comes, right? So I think continue your habit of reading and be in the habit of critically thinking about the topic once you get it. And that's the thought organization. That is what we did as part of this exercise. So, Shabir, let's now spend a few minutes on the ethics connection of this. So, I think we collected some questions, some of which are code based, some of which are theoretical, some of which are case studies. So, let's look at it. Those who in trouble, untroubled are, will trouble itself. Thiruvalluvar. Um,
almost a tongue twister there. Okay, but I think beautifully mapped to the topic or this essay topic. Those who are in trouble, untroubled are. Those who in trouble, untroubled are, will trouble itself. इसमें कौन सा noun है, इसमें कौन सा verb है? So, Thiruvalluvar, excellent. Yeah, Dev, yeah, please.
Yeah, I think if you are untroubled in trouble, so you are in calm within the storm, then you will cause a storm in the storm itself, right? So it's like calmness or composure. So that's what this is. The second one, greatest discovery of my generation is that a human being can alter his life by altering his attitude. Again, going back to the syllabus, you saw attitude there. And there is a plenty of things that cover the theory of that, but the application, all of that comes in actual life and work of a civil servant. So this is fantastic. It basically says that the person in storm actually has a choice. You remember Shabbir and I did this Viktor Frankl book reading session few
Yeah,
sessions back.
life search for meaning.
Yeah, life search for meaning. And what he said is exactly that, right? So people in concentration camps, they lived because they thought that they had a choice, right? So this is what he's talking about, that you can alter your attitude, you can feel like you have a choice to respond, and you do that. The third one, Shabir, take it away. Strength of a society is not in its laws, but in the morality of its people.
Yes, I'm continuously trying to map it with the essay that we have. So when it says that the strength of a society is not in its laws, but morality of its people, the morality dimension is your inner self. Your conscience is your guiding path. Your discretions on what's right, what's wrong, and you hold up to some morality, integrity. Um, so the actual control in a society is not the laws which are external. The controls are within. The controls are inside the person. Okay, so I'm trying to. I think these three questions of 25 directly map to this particular essay topic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. Composure,
So,
attitude. Okay. Inner locus of control.
yeah. This is sort of core ethics, right? It is morality at its core. Uh, yeah. So I think if you understand the again, like we do essays, right? Essays, we look at a topic and we find the keywords. Um, in here, you could do the same thing. That's the connection for me between GS4 ethics and essay papers, is that you are continuously finding out moral philosophical themes, and you are figuring out what the applications of those are, right? So I would take the same approach of figuring out the keywords from this. This is like almost like an essay topic, right? The quote itself, you can write an essay on it, you can write 150 words on it, right? So it is just the number of words. And what I typically would do is, going back to this, how many words is this dimensions? Roughly 150, right? I mean, if you expand this, you can easily make it 150, and that's what you can do here. And if you look at the topics, they are not very, very different. So I think this is why this method of brainstorming is very, very critical, because remember, the same critical thinking aspect is going to help you in both. Yeah. So let's look at the next one, Shabir. 2022
Yeah,
theoretical.
yeah.
A positive attitude is considered to be an essential characteristics of a civil servant. Now ये पूरा application में आ गया, right? It is now directly talking about application of a concept which is often required to function under extreme stress, the storm, right? Extreme stress is the storm. What contributes to a positive attitude in a person, right? I again keep going back that you can obviously see the link between the brainstorming we did here and the answer that you need to write here. So I think more importantly, don't do this separately, do this together. And when you get ethics, sort of the first part, right, the first section that Shabir talked about, I think a great way is to kind of check the keywords, create the dimensions, and then write on it. Shabir, anything you would like to add on this?
Now I'm just waiting for some reactions from the students. Uh, Asking all of you guys, YouTube maybe, and even otherwise enrolled students, tell me, uh, have you thought of this idea that the essays should be prepared along with the ethics? That there is a important paper called Ethics where essays concepts can be used. Did you think on those lines? Did you consider that was a possible way of preparation, or how would you otherwise do it?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want
good.
some
Go
reactions
for it.
here.
Yeah, Garima is saying something. Yeah, please go ahead. Garima,
Yeah,
we can't
because
hear you. Yeah, just unmute yourself and you can speak.
she may have raised the hand by mistake,
Okay.
maybe.
Okay.
Okay, Jashanjot says she has not. Okay, others, you all can speak. You didn't know how. So, Anamika, we're just telling you this is an important way. Kaise karna, will come to that. Did not think wise ethics concept on essays. Okay, fine. 007 says he didn't think through that. Somebody on the YouTube, did you see this? That GS ethics ka section A is actually essays paper shortened into 10 marks. It's an essay paper, write in 100 words or 200 words. Yeah. So we are just showing you कि how there is, when you say essays, हमारे मन में क्या आता है? Essays is abstract, essay is philosophical, essay is not current affairs directly, essay requires some thinking. और ये topics देखो ethics में last 2-3 साल का दिखाया. These are abstract. These require critical thinking. Okay, this requires a lot of diving down without the without the rail guard of current affairs directly used. We have Aish says, I think not just ethics but also governance. Absolutely, Aish. Governance be social justice be. Absolutely. You cannot write social justice. So most of us, keep essays as a separate, trauma, not even subject study.
Right.
So अलग से
Right.
करेंगे बाद में, 10 दिन में कर लेंगे. Best part is that. Okay,
Ah.
it's an integrated thing. You have those liberal dose of essay philosophies, thinking skills across. Yes, Amol. Okay, absolutely.
Yeah. And governance, social justice, now you're getting into the applications of that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's very important for a civil servant to understand that piece because that's what you're going to be. That is why now you understanding the why of essays और why GS for ethics ये सब क्यों पूछा जा रहा है हमें क्यों because this is going to guide your thought process. So absolutely, Amol, a good idea to sell ethics with essay. Absolutely, absolutely. So
Dave, I'll read out one question. I
yeah,
mean, I couldn't hold back here. 2015 में पूछा था, ethics topic में पूछा था. The question was, a mere compliance with law is not enough. The public servant also has to have a well-developed sensibility to ethical issues for effective discharge of duties. Do you agree with this? Explain with the help of 2 examples where an act is ethically right but not legally, and how an act is legally right but not ethically. This was a proper question in 2015 ethics paper.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. So Shabir, that reminds me of Amartya Sen's Niti versus Nyaya. Right? He has written so much
Brilliant.
about this exact thing that policy versus what is actually justice. So the idea of justice, students, we shared the one pager with all of you on the Telegram channel. This actually delved into this particular thing. So that's why Shabir and I kept thinking that what we are doing here in essays is so much important from an ethics standpoint that we need to kind of pull these together, and this is the whole idea of this session. And what I will do, my promise is that when we post an essay on the Telegram channel, the essay topic that you all practice, I will give you associated ethics questions. Actually, you can do that yourself too, but I'll post it there so that we can have some dialogue, some conversation, some banter, some back and forth, so that you understand that this topic has so many implications. And quite frankly, we haven't come to the interviews. And interviews, those of you qualified, this is of huge importance to your interviews, because like Shabbir said, don't put essay onto the side that okay, दिन में 1 घंटा आधा घंटा मैं पढ़ लूँगा and I'll cram it in 4 weeks and deliver. वो नहीं होने वाला है. But I think if you put the right practice and right framing of ethics, essays, interviews all together, and your mindset of being a civil servant, it'll actually change your preparation. Okay, enough lecturing. Let's go to the next question, Shabir.
Yeah.
Case study, the Pawan case. Civil servant Pawan. Now we are getting into formally application, right? Civil servant Pawan faces sustained
Dave,
harassment.
your screen not changing.
I think on my side it shows properly.
It could be mine then.
It could be the delay between Zoom and YouTube. Okay, so harassment from a senior officer. He loses confidence, equanimity, and his personal life deteriorates. Question: what approach should Pawan adopt for bringing peace, tranquility, and congenial environment in the office? So I think question to students. Let's ask students this time, Shabir, and see what is the connection of this question back to our essay and all of the keywords, all of the dimensions we created. There is a harassment
There is a
from
storm and there is a sail.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is the storm and what is the sail? Right? Yeah. I think 007, Anamika, Jashanjot, Amol, Venkatesh, Ash, Pavitra, Sachin, Aditya, everyone. I'm inviting you to comment. How is this question, 2020 case study question, related to our essay topic? Tell me what comes to your mind. Even if it may be wrong, I think it's important to voice, and then we can.
Sir, can I?
Yeah, Hemant, go for it.
Sir, if we connect it with last essay session, we can clearly see, sir, the civil servant Pawan faces sustained harassment from his senior officer. So, sir, if we talk about the sale, it can basically show the journey of this civil servant Pawan as he doing his duty. The duty we can say, and the things he face is a part of sale. And the part of harassment, if we talk about, it's basically a storm which he is going through, like it's a harassment through which he loses confidence, same like in sale we loses the hope of life, that we are going through this storm, are we able to survive or not? So sir, this is how I like related with this.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
So the answer, and I think 007, you are saying the same. Storm is harassment from senior officers. Sale is to make efforts to change the work environment, or it has to start with changing your mindset, right? That was the core, that you should not think about things you cannot control. You think about what you can control. So, excellent. Sale, Jashanjot saying sale is emotional intelligence, personal changes for better mental health. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Ash, you're saying sustained harassment is storm, which Pawan cannot control, but he can control his sale. And he can control his approach to dealing with it. Now, this, I always felt like these case studies are so relevant and so real, that any civil servant will go through them. And I think the reason, if I'm interviewing Shabira, if I'm the UPSC panel, when I this is more important than subject matter knowledge to me, because see, eventually your civil servant, as a civil servant, you need not be an engineer, you need not be a geographer, you need not be a social scientist, you need not be science and tech advisor or whatever. But if you have the core ethics strong, then that subject matter can be brought in. So this is where it actually makes or gets real. And I feel like, as a if I'm an evaluator in UPSC, I would even like give this paper a little more weightage than anything else, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah, I
okay.
think these guys are getting it. We have some
Yeah.
responses on the YouTube also. Aditya has responded. Yes, you're right, Aditya. You're right. Okay. And harassment is the storm. What he can't control, but he can control himself. Yes. Anamika, absolutely. You should use AI now. Okay. Use AI for preparing, reading extracts. Use AI to even map the questions if you want to. Okay. Please read whatever. जो पढ़ना है पढ़ो. AI से पढ़ना है पढ़ो. Convenient है. Yes, yes. Yeah, Dev, we
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah, in fact, let's we can do a little bit of the essay template on Yuki also. See, the way to study with AI is you have to banter with it. You don't get answers from AI. That's not the way to study, because if you haven't written the answer, it is very difficult for you to reproduce it. So that is why when Shabbir and I built Yuki, we said in essays, we will make it such that we'll give the dimensions, we'll give some ideas of intro and conclusion, and we'll give some tips. And that's what you can do with AI. Like, okay, if you are struggling for ideas, take 10 or 15 of PYQs and just one after the other feed them to Yuki, and you can get the dimensions back. Reading a full length essay from AI is not going to help. So the prompt is already there for you, so I think we can see that. Anyway, let's come back here. One more question. Anger is a harmful negative emotion. It is injurious to both personal life and work life. Discuss how it leads to negative emotions, undesirable behaviors. How can it be managed and controlled? Now, you can say on the surface that this question is about anger management, but it is more than anger management, right? And one trick that Shabbir and I talked about within the course, if you have taken the course, is the three whys, right? How to structurally get deeper into a particular perspective. So anger management, why is there anger, right? Something did not happen based on your expectations, that is why there is anger. And then if you go back, ask three whys, you'll eventually get to the storm and the sail, right? The controllables and the uncontrollables. So another example, Ash saying, sir, though this paper might not have weightage in exam, but has a lot of weightage in life. My mom said me once, UPSC has made me more sensitive, compassionate, and wise. Wonderful. Wonderful. Wonderful.
न्यायिश वेटेज है ऐसे और एथिक्स जोड़ लो 250 मार्क्स प्लस 250 मार्क्स 600 मार्क 500 मार्क बहुत होता है it's crazy amount of marks and it's actually loaded in favor of critical thinking. It is loaded in favor of your sensibilities, your sensitivity rather. Okay, so अच्छा खासा life में तो है ही. I mean, you can't deny that. Yes, Dev.
I
Yeah.
think in a way, Shabbir, this UPSC exam is like a training ground. Okay, so I think
Yes.
it's a great way to train future civil servants.
I mean, that's the mindset we want students to appear with. Don't
Yeah.
see the exam process as a pain, as a torture. The exam process actually training hai. They're training you in some ways. You clear the training, you enter the next round. The training of knowing the issues, the training to be sensitive to what's happening around you. So yes, Dave, it is training, definitely, definitely.
So Hemant says anger mainly due to when our goal is hindered by some individual or something made us frustrated. Yeah. So think about the storm and the sail, right? That's kind of the cue for you, and in fact, it is also giving you some cues here. How can it be managed and controlled? And you very rightly said, Hemant, that somebody made you frustrated. The actions of other people are, as per Stoicism, something that is uncontrollable. So you leave it aside, but you can control, you can choose your response, right? Patience is required to pass through the phase. Absolutely. Anamika is saying importance of emotional control in multitasking approach.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, yeah. So I think those were some of the questions that we discussed, and everything had storm versus sail. We saw that I'm just summarizing, right? Here, essay quote type questions are just like essays. So the dimensions analysis that you do is going to be important for those quote type questions also. So anytime you get an essay topic, absolutely go figure out what PYQs of GS4 can be solved with the same sort of critical thinking. All right. Then case studies. Again, in case studies, I always map to core values. See this uh, this exercise that we did of mapping the um, you know topic to its core values. This to me is the core. If you can effectively do the core value mapping, I think you will be totally fine for both the use cases, both the GS4 as well as SS. Cool. I think we have some more comments. Aditya is saying, sir, in anger question, we need to see why the anger. As you said, then its impact to different levels, long term, short term, and its negative impacts that are not visible in the initial stage. Yeah, exactly. So, if you look at anger itself, we said here, right? Emotions cloud judgment. That clearly tells you that, if you are expressing or experiencing anger, it is an emotion and it will cloud your judgment. So, yeah, don't do that, and make sure you have emotional intelligence. I think somebody also talked about emotional. I think Jashanjot, you talked about EQ. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, EQ is a huge area under ethics itself. One of the topics of ethics will be EQ also. And the state questions on EQ also in ethics.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we have demonstrated quite a bit. I think going forward, I just will reiterate what we'll do. Okay, this is, I also asked the question on the Telegram channel so that people are aware of what we are going to do. I said every time we have an essay, we will discuss GS. So the channel itself should not be an essay. Discuss GS4, and we'll bring in other things that will give you a more well-rounded view of that particular topic, mapped to core values. The philosophers were anyway talking about all those things. I think it's just going to help if we pull out more questions. Yeah, Shabir, that's what I had on the
So,
screen share.
so a couple of questions. I think all of them may be waiting for us to answer that. Now that, okay, essays में भी quotes हैं and ethics में भी quotes हैं. Essay also has that philosophical type of demand, and ethics also has that philosophical demand. Can we discuss a bit on how the approach should be different in preparation? What does the same topic demand when I write the essay? And what does the same topic demand when we write in ethics? Okay, if you can tell, or maybe we can ask what all our viewers, students think. से आपको यही टॉपिक मिला, okay, जैसे quote unquote में you cannot control the storm, but your sails. So let's see what you can say, and me and Dave will get into conversation on that. How should the approach be different?
What is same and what is different? I think both are important. So we discuss what is same. Tell us what you think is different.
Whatever you think, and how do you think you would write? आप वही क्वेश्चन देख लो जो थिरुवल्लुवर का टॉपिक था. Those in trouble are untroubled. Okay, can trouble more. It's actually a quote you can write an essay on.
Yeah.
यही मैंने पूछ दिया essay में, तो आप क्या लिखते?
In fact,
Anything?
there is a wonderful episode on Bharat Ek Khoj. This used to be a serial when Shabbir and I were growing up in our school. We used to see in Doordarshan. It is on YouTube. It is basically a televised, rendition of Discovery of India by Jawaharlal Nehru. There is an episode on Thiruvalluvar, which is a fantastic episode. And when you see it, you realize there are some amazing thinkers the country has produced, and we don't often discuss that. So absolutely, if you can, if you have the time, go look up Bharat Ek Khoj on YouTube, Thiruvalluvar episode. Overall there are 57, 58 episodes. I think this, for a UPSC student, I feel like, Shabir, this is a absolute must to go through that.
In fact, when I was teaching social issues and social justice day, I started the class with a reference to Bharat Ek Khoj. If you remember, you've seen it. The first episode is on ये भारत माता कौन है.
Yep.
Okay. Bharat Mata kaun hai? The people who live, or the street, the air. Okay, it's a very, very, I mean, it's history, but in the perspective of a man who is at the forefront of India's struggle. You're right. I should be encouraged. Maybe share the link of the Discovery channel, this serial every day on the YouTube, on the Telegram, and ask the students to see that maybe.
Yeah, it's incredible. I think I also loved that first episode where he goes and asks one of the villagers, like, okay, what is India? What is Bharat? And then he describes and that person said it's this land. So then he, kind of expands on that, saying not just the land, but the air, the culture, and wonderful. I think you should definitely take a look. The reason why we are saying this is because, see, overall, reading habits and quality reading habits, and thinking about these aspects that we read, and then reproducing that, this is all critical thinking, and this is all what essays, ethics, and eventually UPSC is all about. And a lot of people think GS Foundation we have to complete. Yes, you have to complete that, but it is not a subject matter test. Eventually, like I said, there are scientists, engineers, doctors, geographers in the world, but civil servants are some other breed. So I think you should get into that mode. And I think Hemant has already shared it. Bharat Ek Khoj series link. We'll try to put it on YouTube for everybody else also. I think definitely see it. Definitely see it. Shabbir, I think we're kind of done. Any other thoughts? Any closing remarks?
Yeah, so Aditya was telling us on the YouTube that ethics paper demands directly the ethical behavior from civil servant, whereas essays paper demands same the indirect way. Yes, not wrong. See, fundamentally, I think in essays paper, given a quote, you must write the quote from all different perspectives, generate dimensions that explain, generate dimensions, okay, that bring out the nuances. And it is not confined to governance alone. Essay is more broad-based. It is not only about administration. But when you write the same quote in the ethics paper, you maybe spend less time explaining the quote, you spend more time demonstrating that in terms of administration decisions. So that's the main difference. Okay. Garima, not just EI attitude, you link it to administration, probity, okay, in public office, dilemmas in decision making. You link it with those topics or with those issues. And of course, essays 1,000 words, 1200 word, ethics are smaller ones. So fundamentally, यही difference है. Because I wish we had more time. We could demonstrate maybe
Yes, sir.
one or two. Yeah, Hemant, आप कुछ कह रहे थे?
सर आई हैव टू क्वेश्चंस सर आपने एसए में जैसे सिखाया था कि हम रोका मेथड यूज कर सकते हैं फॉर लाइक आंसरिंग और लाइक डीलिंग विद द एसए सो सर कैन वी यूज द सेम मेथड फॉर एथिक्स आल्सो
Yes, you can. Of course, you can. रोका is what relevance है, organize करना है. It should be coherent. It should be analytical. This is a general thing for anything. ऐसे में ज्यादा emphasize करते हैं because ऐसे का बाउंड्री डिफाइंड नहीं है, तो आपको डिफाइन करने के लिए कहा जा रहा है. बट इन एथिक्स वो जो सब क्वेश्चंस होते हैं वो आपका बाउंड्री डिफाइन कर देते हैं पहले से कि बताओ इसमें डिलेमा क्या था, बताओ व्हाट ही शुड नॉट बी डूइंग इफ ही इज डूइंग. सो एज ए कंसेप्ट इट्स राइट, बट इन एथिक्स आपको इतना ज्यादा स्ट्रक्चरिंग और इतना ज्यादा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पे ध्यान नहीं देकर आपको ज्यादा ध्यान देना है कि वो विजडम कैसे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में यूज होता है या वो विजडम कैसे डिलेमास क्रिएट करता है and how you resolve it. That's my take. Deb, you want to add something on this?
Yeah, I think you said it. Ethics is the application of what we write in essays, right? Essays has a much bigger scale, but the scale of ethics will be primarily applications in governance, so administration. So if you look at the syllabus, it is apparent because after discussing core concepts, eventually it gets to probity in governance, behavior of civil servants, and real world applications of these moral philosophies. So that's just application. Yeah. So absolutely, I wouldn't worry about what we studied in essay canvas, how to put the storyboard together so much. It is as long as you say those 5 points, and they may not be in the right order, but they should be focused. All your dimension should be focused towards application. That is more important. Applications to governance. Yeah. Any other questions?
Sir, one more question, sir.
Sure.
Sir, in ethics, like what is the main thing? Like the guy who checks paper, what he main focuses on, like what he expect from us, and like what he thinks if we mention this, it will be like more valuable and more related to the question, sir.
Shabir, why don't you take that?
Yeah. देखो बेटा, ethics में, we understand one thing. You are being evaluated for administration, decision making, problem solving. Ethics में, okay, you are being tested for whether you have that skill of problem solving while not crossing the boundaries of ethics, while not crossing the boundaries of your own conscience and constitutional morality and all of that. तो फर्क क्या होता है? While students can write 2 pages on honesty, students can define what is compassion. Students can write fluently and eloquently on what is sympathy, forgiveness. But when students are given a real life situation, okay, और उसमें apply करने बोलेंगे ना, most of you cannot differentiate it. Yeah, most of you come out like disorganized. So ऐसे पेपर में एक्सपर्ट ये किया जाता है कि आपका कोर आपको पता होना चाहिए और आपको कोर पे विश्वास होना चाहिए. That I will not be corrupt no matter what is a statement. Now the question is, Papa is not well, he wants a surgery, you are a bank manager, you have a chance to maybe use the advantage of that. Okay, so without telling you upfront कि honesty दिखाओ, वो बताएंगे बताओ इसको रिजॉल्व कैसे करोगे. इधर एक बेटे का धर्म है बच्चे को बचाना, उधर एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है एज अ पब्लिक सर्वेंट. So ethics paper through case studies, ethics paper through real life situations से में आपको डालकर आपको लिखवाता है कि बताओ यहाँ क्या करोगे, बताओ ऐसे यहाँ क्या करोगे. So you even if you by heart the definitions of these concepts, I have by hearted what is honesty, what is integrity, वो तो पता ही होना चाहिए. But अगर आपने उसको internalize नहीं किया है, if you don't understand the dilemmas you will have to face, okay, when in work and these things can conflict, तो आप लिख नहीं पाओगे. So you literally have to live those moments of indiscretion sometimes, live those moments where you are torn between this good and that good. So the ethics examiner expects your application ability to ethical concepts, your ability to discern. And बहुत important है कि जो dilemma है, आपको dilemma को name करना पड़ेगा कि बताओ ये dilemma है क्या. Okay, what are you fighting? What are you struggling? If you just give me 1 minute, I would like to share my screen maybe. Dave, is
Yep.
that fine?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
I was just searching that. If you can see my screen here, this was a 2025 case study question. Okay, there's a catastrophe. Vijay as a commissioner in a remote hilly district, heavy rains followed by cloudburst and massive damage. The administration under Vijay activated rescue and relief operations, temporary shelters. Vijay received, his mother was ill. 2 days later, she passed away. Continuous messages urging return to perform last rites. Meanwhile, the rains have resumed. ये एक situation है. अब question पूछ रहा है बहुत clearly. Okay, what are the options available to Vijay? What are the ethical dilemmas? आपको name करना पड़ेगा. ये dilemma क्या है? The dilemma between his role as a son and his role as an administrator. The dilemma between his private commitments and his public office commitments. The dilemma between his emotional turmoil and the responsibility that. तो आपको ये name करना पड़ेगा. You just cannot say dilemma है कि छोड़ दिया आपने. Ethical dilemma का नाम बताओ और evaluate करो. Examine each option कि बताओ, if I go home, what will happen? If I don't go home, what will happen? If I do the last rites, my district suffers, what happens? So it is not simply हाँ मैं परेशान हूं. You should be able to articulate this as a dilemma. Which option is more appropriate? And mark the word, it says more appropriate. It does not tell you which is right, which is wrong. If the commissioner decides so he must go home, that's perfectly fine. But he must tell us why he did that. If he thinks, I can't go home, I must stay back, perfectly fine. Tell us why. So यहाँ पर language skills भी important हो जा रहा है. That's the idea. यहाँ पर you suddenly have the criticality of understanding that the expressions must also be right. You cannot get away by simply saying कि अच्छा dilemma है, and he must not forgo his public duties, and he must therefore sacrifice. Saying that बहुत आसान है, anybody would say it. But to deliberate on it, okay, these are the forces pulling him apart. These are the dilemmas which are troubling him. This is what would be more appropriate and why. So essays से वो essays आपको देखो essays से क्या सिखाया जा रहा है? Essays से आपको critical thinking skills सिखाया जा रहा है. आप वो अप्लाई कर रहे हो. Essays से आपको कुछ abstract philosophy सिखाया जा रहा है. वो आप अप्लाई कर रहे हो. Essays से आपको organization skills सिखाया जा रहा है. आप वो अप्लाई कर रहे हो. That's how essays and ethics are related. I think we must do this more to demonstrate it. Okay, today was just setting the pitch key. There is a link. I hope I answered your question, your doubt, जो भी था आपका.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's theory versus practice, right? That's what it is. If you study theoretical physics and then you go into the science lab and you do an experiment to see what it's like. It's exactly that. Aditya is saying, sir, this means that I have to put in place the doer of the question, right? Genuinely, what should I do? Is it right, sir? I think this will be developed with practicing multiple questions. Yeah, I think, see, your actions, Aditya, is going to be guided by ethics, right? Ethics guides our actions. Now, question is framed in such a way that it will examine if the ethics are clear in your mind, right? If you have thought of the problem well in your head to decide what actions you will take. So remember, I always tell you in a Telegram channel that when an essay topic, you see an essay topic, there is a dichotomy inside the essay topic. Always. There is some struggle going on. There is a fight going on. In this case, there was a fight between the storm and the sail. So that is exactly what, in other words, is sometimes called the ethical dilemma. So every question in ethics, GS4, has at least one dilemma. So whenever you encounter an essay topic, look at the fundamental dichotomy. When you see a quote, what is the dichotomy? When you see a situation, case study, you think in terms of the abstract patterns of dichotomies, you'll get your answer. It will be easier. Saying, okay, क्या चल रहा है यहाँ पे, right? Who are fighting? There is a deep conversation going on between the storm and the sail. So, that identification will help you define, articulate the core moral philosophies and therefore guide your actions. Right.
Wonderful.
So, Ash, sir, can it be said essay paints what life could be, a canvas of thought, bold and free? Ethics asks in a moment, tight, will you choose the just and right? Oh, wonderful. It's rhyming. Very nice poem. Absolutely. I will throw the word governance and administration somewhere when it comes to ethics. But yeah, ethics, as in GS paper 4, but ethics, you are right. Ethics uses that and that determines our actions. Fantastic. Hemant has a question, Shabir. Sir, can the ethics questions
They
uh,
can be all the three.
descriptive, argumentative, and persuasive like essays? Ah, wonderful question. Wonderful question. You are talking about the differences. So, yeah. Yeah, Shabir, what's your take?
Yes, they can be. In fact, the section A questions are more descriptive, describe the concept. The case studies where the dilemmas are discussed are argumentative. And when you are offering solutions, what to do and how to resolve, those answers are more persuasive. So आपको एक ही पेपर में फोर्स किया जा रहा है कि कंसेप्ट को डिस्क्राइब भी करो, डिबेट भी करो और अपना सोल्यूशन भी दो. So Hemant, this is the beauty of learning the essays. Because आपने ऐसे में सीखा है, तो आपको दिख रहा है कि अच्छा क्वेश्चन में ये आर्गुमेंटेटिव वाला है. Okay? It's not that कि आपने ऐसे लिखना सीख लिया तो डायरेक्टली एथिक्स हो जाएगा. बट ऐसे से आप कुछ और विजडम लेके आ रहे हो. The method of study, the technique of analysis, the ability to find the contradictory tension point जो Dave is mentioning, those skills come into your ethics writing. Yeah, Dave, your view on this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I couldn't have said it better. Anamika is saying, what will be the right time to start essay writing? Anamika, right now. Okay. Shubh kam
in
mein.
fact, Anamika, the mistake students do is they leave essay for the last. उनको लगता है कि अगर आपने जीएस पढ़ लिया तो ऐसे हो जाएगा. जीएस में आपको कंटेंट सिखाया जाता है. essays require critical thinking skills. सोचना आना चाहिए. In fact, if you ask me, essays should be one of the first subjects to start with. Right? And you keep on learning essay throughout the process. ये बर्स्ट में आएगा. एक महीना पढ़ा, कुछ मिस किया, सीखा, फिर दोबारा पढ़ा, फिर सीखा, कुछ मिस किया. That's why we have the Telegram channel. All of you, please, if you not join the Telegram channel. Edukemy's, like essays with Edukemy's Telegram channel. We can share the link with all of you. So if you can, in fact, we're running an essay course right now. हम हर महीने admissions लेते हैं. 6, 7, 10, 15, they keep joining us. And we keep bringing. So आप जो देख रहे हो आज अनामिका, today's session was actually an essay class, but because हम कुछ नया बात कर रहे थे, so we decided to go live for all of you, for the benefit of all of you. But as soon as possible, don't wait for the essays. Do it 6, 7 months or 1 साल पहले if you can. Yeah, Hemant, these guys are on YouTube. You are sharing the link here. I do not know.
Oh,
It's
yes,
essays with
our
Edukemy.
team just did.
Yeah. Thanks, Hemant. Thanks. So I think
Yeah.
we are done, Dave. The idea was to initiate this process. You want to add something?
I think wonderful session. I loved it as always, bantering with you, and I think it's a great opportunity for students in our course also, as we are
I think
getting
one
everybody.
expectation, एक एक्सपेक्टेशन होता है देव बच्चों का कि सर पढ़ाएंगे मतलब है सर बोलेंगे और हम नोट्स लिखेंगे. Okay, चलो चालू हो जाओ, डिक्टेशन चालू हो गया. Essays is nowhere near that. It is you who will talk, we'll only guide. It's you who will discuss, unravel. So this was a class. We class and you go back with some insights. You go back with some learnings. Not कि notes note करके छोड़. Notes पढ़ना है आप हमारा videos देख लो ना. ठीक है? So you saw a demo of how essays should be prepared for.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I know Anamika all time is gone in GS and optional, but take it from
That's
me.
why the video courses.
Yeah, and I think our course is very simple. It's a 4 5 week course. You take the videos, you listen to the videos. But I think what is more important, what we do is we do the practice through these sessions, right? Once a student, always a student. You come in and practice with us. That is more important. And essays is all about conversation. Shabbir is right. what we did, हम लोग को लगता है कि essays I'll have to write something. You don't have to write. First, you have to think. So I always say कोई भी essay topic है या GS4 quote है, if you can take that quote, if you can use some technique to come up with the core values, if you can determine the keyword, if you can paraphrase it three different ways, and if you can create three, four arguments out of that, that is all you need from critical thinking standpoint. And that art, that capability of taking something abstract and creating a framework in your mind, that critical thinking is what you need to do everything, like essays, GS4, interview, preparing yourself, develop your personality, as Ash said, to get ready for being a civil servant, grow up as a person. So I think the time is now, and you don't have to write to develop this skill. Yeah, Shabir, I think that's all the lecturing we'll do today. Good session. 45 minutes, sorry, 15 minutes extra we took. But next time we'll do something similar. Maybe we'll continue this thread a little bit longer. And then, eventually, we have a few things that we are playing around with, right? So we are doing live evaluations sometimes, which is great because you get the evaluator standpoint. We are doing brainstorming for essays with the class, and we'll do some GS4 stuff along with it. Yeah.
Next week, maybe we'll take up a book. It's been a while. We'll decide that. And
Yeah.
I'm inching for that one book, Deb, and that I think got us to talk together, know each other in college, The Little Prince.
Fantastic. Let us do it.
I am waiting कि एक दिन वो Little Prince discuss करेंगे. Maybe one of these weeks, let's see. One of the favorites that we share, me and Deb. Okay. So let's see. So YouTube guys, I can't promise you if we'll have a live session or not next week, but who knows? We can always be magnanimous. Okay. But our enrolled students, they will be priority for some time. Okay, guys. Thanks a lot for being patient, listening, and we hope we gave you some insights about how to manage essays and ethics.
Thank
Right?
you.
Okay.
Good
Bye-bye, all
night.
of you. Bye.